Episode 5, The Engineer. When the Colossus receives a distress call from out of nowhere in space, Kaz agrees to go check it out, but with Synara, just in case things do turn south. What they end up finding is a Nikto engineer named Nina, who seems relatively of no threat and claims she's on the run from the First Order. Back on the Colossus, Nina's engineering skills impress even the likes of Niku, who starts taking a liking in her. During the course of Nina's stay, she ends up fixing so many problems on the Colossus that everyone agrees that she's one of the best things that have ever happened to the station recently. During one of her maintenance calls, Nina openly accuses the pirates of stealing energy from the Colossus, which sees some tension and distrust grow between the Colossus crew and the pirates. However, this ends up becoming a lie, as Kaz soon finds out that Nina is actually a saboteur employed by the First Order. Nina then ends up escaping off the Colossus once her cover is blown, but not before calling the First Order to arrive on the scene. Fortunately, with Niku's help, Kaz undoes all of Nina's work that ended up sabotaging the Colossus, allowing the space station to successfully escape from the First Order's grasp yet again. This episode definitely gave me some mixed emotions about it. At first, when we meet Nina and she's an innocent and skilled Nikto engineer, I figured, okay, this seems awfully convenient, basically the female version of Niku, but alright, I'll go along with it. The story at that time was okay, but nothing too crazy. However, when we learned that the pirates were potentially stealing from the Colossus, and then the whole discussion came up on how to get rid of them, then yeah, things got interesting and I really started to enjoy the episode a lot, as it quickly went from a meh to a oh wow, they're going that route kind of episode for me. Because how do you deal with forcing an enemy out of your home when they're also living there too? They're not gonna leave without a fight, and the episode had my full attention at that point. However, when we got that predictable twist that, hey, Nina was actually lying and working for an outside force, then alright, fine, I wasn't a fan of that over the pirates' baddies plot, but sure, maybe this could work too. Especially seeing as during the episode we do find out Nina was captured as a child by pirates and then sold into slavery to the Hutts. Then maybe, just maybe, she was still working for a Hutt clan. And if that was the case, then yeah, things could still be good. Because we've yet to see a Hutt clan make an appearance on the show, and that'd be something different. Or heck, maybe something else like Kanji Club or something like that. I'd take anything. But no, instead the show writers take the lazy route to somehow squeeze the First Order into the episode, and at that part, it lost me. Look, I like the First Order, but overusing them at every single opportunity makes them a boring villain. And in this episode, they're basically used as a plot device and an empty threat. They show up, take some shots on the Colossus, and boom, next thing you know, they're gone. What made this even more obvious was that Tam wasn't even present in this episode. And when that's the case, then you know the First Order aren't going to be doing anything significant to the Colossus without her being part of that episode. Not to mention when the First Order do show up and assume that the Colossus is defenseless, all they do is send 5 or so TIE fighters, which makes no sense. You're telling me that they finally find the Colossus after this whole cat and mouse chase, and that's the best they do? I don't buy it. Realistically, the First Order would have used their turrets of their battlecruiser and wrecked the Colossus to shreds in a matter of seconds. No need for TIE fighters whatsoever. But again, that was never going to happen in this episode. The First Order never was supposed to accomplish anything. Their only role here was just to show up and tick off a box. As for Nina, I did like her character and enjoyed her friendship with Niku. Her background story was unexpectedly dark, and it was nice to see Niku get a new friend which wasn't a baby ocean creature or a chair. Not to mention, it was nice to learn some more background info on Niku as well, like how his family were banta herders. I mean, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean much in the grand scheme of things, but I did appreciate learning something more about his past. As for Nina and Niku together, it was interesting to see how differently the two viewed each other later in the episode. Nina seemed to want Niku to become her partner, as it felt like she had gained some romantic feelings for him. While Niku, on the other hand, it doesn't seem like his character was mature enough to have seen things that way, and only thought of her as his new bestest friend. And because of that, I'm not sure how that relationship would have worked out or not, but I didn't mind the episode kind of touching on that subject. On a side note, I do like how both the actors of Niku and Nina are married in real life, and I do think that did show in their on-screen chemistry. Overall, this episode started okay, got really good, but ended on a weak note. I've said it before and I'll say it again, Resistance has the potential to be a strong series in Season 2, but the writers really need to get a bit more creative. And seriously, stop shoehorning the First Order at every single possible opportunity they see. But that was my take on this episode of Star Wars Resistance. Let me know what you all thought about it in the comments down below. And if you haven't already, remember to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.